We're going to talk about 3x1, man. Took a little bit of time. Apologize, I had to get some games in, but we're here. 3x1 formations are formations that have 3 eligible receivers to one side and 1 receiver to the backside. The difference is, in the 3x1s, there's different types of 3x1s. Just make sure we're talking about anytime the wide receiver in the backside is removed 5 yards, wider than 5 yards than from the offensive tackle. Because as soon as he gets in a nice little cut split area or he's lined up on the line of scrimmage, it changes some things, okay? But just in general, this is a good defense versus, again, 4 verticals or any type of routes that people like to run deep. They want to run 2 verticals deep, 3 verticals deep. They want to run digs, corners. You have guys in the back end that are going to match up on these guys. Make sure they have good man rating, okay? So as we go through this, the corners to the strong side of the formation don't change really anything. They still play 1 to 2. Keying 1 to 2. 1 goes vertical, he has him, okay? If 1 doesn't go vertical, he'll let him go, right? Get his eyes on 2 and play outside leverage or any deep routes that go vertical by 2. The safety to this side, the strong safety, he's going to play number 2 to 1. 2 goes vertical, he has him, all right? If he doesn't go vertical, he gets to free up and help out, usually on a post or a dig by 1. That's what he's looking to help out on. The backside safety here, okay, the free safety, standing all the way back there around the 15-yard line. He has number 3 vertical, so he actually goes running over there technique-wise. So that's one huge giveaway, really, in the defense. But there are ways to disguise it. We'll talk about that later. If 3 goes vertical, he has him. If he doesn't, he basically frees up. A lot of times he'll kind of square up and get right back in the middle of the field, look like he's playing post safety, or he might go back and help out to number 1 weak. Because technically that's his rule. 3 to 1 weak. He'll help out, right? But this corner over here who's playing 1 week, we call this a solo corner. And by the way, with the safety, in real life they use words like error or fax or whatever. That's just his technique, okay? But the backside guy, he has a meg wherever he goes. So even if he was to run a slant or anything like that, he would take the slant route. Okay, so let me just show you real quick. All right, so even if he's in off position, doesn't matter, he'll take him no matter what. All right. Now, I didn't talk about this before, but the corners on the strong side of this formation, right? And this is the same rule really in 2x2. If they get into a press position, they will meg up their, They will basically man up the outside receiver, okay? So if he wants to stand here, take him if you put him in press. Now, the weak part of this defense are routes that are being run across the field, shallow, all right, starting with whoever it is, and guys busting it and not letting guys go, okay? And the best way to play this in Madden is to realize that there are 2 halves to this defense, okay? There is a line down the center and the right side, and there's a line down the center and the left side. That left side is the weak side. That is a man side when it comes to the underneath defenders, okay? They are pretty much manned up, matched up on the running back wherever he goes. Really easy. If I swing him out, you'll see how that linebacker will go and match the running back. If he turns up on the wheel, he should run with him, okay? Let me do that. So it's easy. You know what's going to happen there. I would man that guy personally, hot route him to play the running back, because there are some routes that it can get a little bit funny, okay? If he goes to the line of scrimmage, sometimes that defender will chase him like he's doing right there, but he never really chases him from a good position. He backs up into a soft zone, and then he'll chase him late, and obviously he's not going to get there. Now, he might have help with the nickel, but the nickel could be eaten up, all right? Because he is keying 2 to 3, just like he did when he was playing in just regular quarters. And if 2 was to go out, I could have stayed in the same play, he's going to match him. So the nickel, 2 goes out to the flat, here match him. I just ran a whip route right there, okay? If 2 goes vertical, anything over 10 yards and runs anywhere, he will just get hands on him and become a curl player. That's why when I ran regular verticals, you can see the nickel is there late to help out if I threw the ball to the running back, okay? The one player that probably has the toughest job and is the guy that I would use her. You can use her the nickel in this defense. If you don't have a good middle linebacker who's smart and aware, you might want to play with him, okay? Because his responsibility is a little bit funky and it really depends on the routes that we get. So he is reading 3 to 2. So 3 is in the backfield, okay? And there's 2 on either side, right? So whichever way 3 goes, that's the way that his eyes should work. And let me go back on that. Let me just make this more simple. I'll give you the 3 rules that you need to know, like I do at every position. If 3 goes out, right, tight end runs a 5-yard out, you got to stay with him, okay? Unless number 2 comes inside. So if you get some sort of under scheme where 3 works out and 2 comes in, then now you switch basically with your nickel. All right, let me do this. Let me see if the computer actually does this correctly, and they do. All right, so but if 3 goes out, you got to think I'm working out with him. I got him, right? Now if he goes over 10 yards, your free safety would be there. But there are plays that are like this. Let me just kind of get it out of here, where it's about that 10 to 12 yard area, and you need to go with that guy because the safety will not sometimes compute that as a vertical route, and that's one of the weaknesses in running quarters defense is running 3 on a corner or running 3 on an out route. Now, are you going to get help with the safety? You may not. I would never rely on it. When I say the safety, I'm talking about the number 2 safety. He's technically free and he's being the quarterback, but he is really supposed to help out a number 1 strong. So don't ever rely on that. Now, if number 3 was to run under, okay, he runs something inside, something 5 yards or in or shorter, you need to run with him. You need to be a wall. So you become what we call a wall defender. And you can see how the computer ran with them for the first couple steps and then stopped. The reason why you are a wall defender is for what I just said before. The weak side quarter flat defender in the box is essentially matched up man on his running back. And especially if you put him in man coverage, you need to make sure that you take care of anything that's coming from right of the screen to the left. So a combination that you can get, and I'll show it later, I'll leave it alone for now, but let's just say 3 goes vertical, 1 comes in, okay? So 1 comes in. If you leave this alone, there's going to be nobody there. Now the computer right there backed up and then came down late. That's, you know, it looks good, but it's not realistic, and a lot of times he would just get lost, and that's an easy catch. So what I would do from a technique standpoint is thinking, I don't have to worry about 3 going vertical. I don't have him. I don't have to run with him. I don't have to be even with him. I don't have to be on top of him. I would just always hang right here on his hip, right? Expecting what? A curl, a stick route, turn around, catch the ball, right? If he works out, you need to stay with him, but you've got to be conscious, and this is so hard to do. It's easier said than done, of number 1 coming in. Because if number 1 comes in or number 2 is to come in on a slant, people audible people to slant routes all the time and use it as a late check down and throw the ball all the way over here, right? On the hash and numbers. That's your responsibility, and it's hard, man. And that's something that you have to do from that position. You can't rely on other people around you because they have their own job. So you are a wall defender versus any type of in-breaking route. And this is going to happen again when we get to bunch and some other formations where you have to be smart playing that middle linebacker spot. All right, I think I covered everything that could really kind of give you a base intro to that. Now let's just kind of go through some routes that I've seen before, and we're just talking through and review some of the rules here. Right here, you get a little fade smash combination, right? Anytime you get a fade smash combination, it's used to break it back in the day, and the safety would kind of bug out and not know what to do in the corner as well. But when you're playing off, that is 1 not vertical, eyes on 2 for the corner. He's going to play outside leverage and play the corner deep, play the fade deep. The safety, that's a vertical route. That's anything over 10 yards, even though it's breaking away from him, he's going to play it. Now the nickel, right, which is another guy you can use her if you want to. If you feel like these type of routes are happening when people are running level concepts, smash concepts, where 1 is coming under 5 yards, Because in this case, in real life, the corner would say smash, 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 or say something, right? Use a word, and that will tell the nickel he doesn't have to worry about necessarily getting hands on 2 anymore. Why? Because 2 is going to be double teamed with 2 DBs. He can get out now and get out underneath number 1. Or if number 1 was running an in route, get underneath that, right? Help your middle linebacker out, so you at least take it away. He doesn't throw the ball quickly in that first little spot right here, which in this game, that's probably where the ball is going to be thrown because the pass rush is coming, okay? On this play here, you see how he kind of like curls up, that's an interesting route. It's pretty much a stick route. Middle linebacker needs to be on that. He needs to be underneath that and try to play it from inside out, right? Safety's coming over, backside safety's not sure. If he's not sure, he'll just kind of sit there for a little bit. Easy route here for the backside quarter flat defender. He's just going to match that, and then we got our corner on the left side of the screen. He's playing match on number 1 Meg, okay? Let's see what else we have here. And remember, that backside corner needs to be a good player, man. He needs to be probably your best DB if you can control it, because he's going to be basically matched up man-to-man all day without really any help, okay? So we got 2 out, 3 out, all right? A little bit of a weakness towards any type of man match coverage, right? Because you're out leverage at the linebacker position, looking at the middle linebacker. So this is where you need to play a little closer to the tight end, especially if he's lined up, like a wide receiver. It's tough, and you want to try to play the run as well. Just understand that the safeties have run fits, man. They will come down and play the run. We're not talking run game right now, but just understand that. Let's see here. All right, so we're kind of good with that. Let me just show you the Packer smash play. So again, if you're playing, wrong defense. Packer smash is the same idea that I showed you before with the fade smash. It's just that now number 3 is going to break in, and number 1 is going to keep on running. So technically, number 1 will be open in this play. It's going to be a window there. You got to throw a little sooner, especially if you were to take number 3 and really just run him across the field here. Because that middle linebacker will go with them, and now there's an opening there. So that's a tough assignment. This is where if you know you're getting this, you might want to play with the nickel and do what I said with that smash check and go take that crosser, right? If you are playing with the middle linebacker and you see that, again, you're going to stay with number 3 because you don't know if you have any help with number 2. Right? You don't know if you have any help with the backside linebacker because he's blocked up man on the running back, okay? Again, if you really want to take that to another level and let the computer just play his normal quarter flat on the backside, there are times where he will not match because his running back went away from him. His running back went to the strong side. He went through the line, checked through. It's just, to me, for consistency's sake, I'd rather just know what my guy's doing, so I will never get confused and nothing bad will ever happen, okay? Let me look at slot driving. You can see that the weaknesses, again, like all these crossing routes, shallow routes. This is going to put a little bit of a bind on the middle linebacker, right? Now, the backside safety, is he going to play that like a vertical, which if I was coaching him, I would just say yes. This is why I use the rule of not just 10 yards. I say basically anything over linebacker depth, that's a vertical route. I mean, he breaks here at about, 8 yards? But, I mean, that's a good job by that safety. Go get that, right? Because of what I told you with the middle linebacker, he's actually walked out over here. He needs to play any type of crossing route from the strong side and stay on that, right? Now, again, this is the computer. Sometimes, I don't know if he's breaking on the throw, but he should just stay on that, and that's his guy. Now, if you're ever caught in a position where you don't know who to take, 2 in, 3 in, whatever, I would just play it deep to short, make him throw the shallow, but don't lose leverage on the drive route, okay? Now, what you're getting here, that backside linebacker, again, I think this guy stayed in the block. No, he swung out, okay. But anyway, so that's good there, all right? So we got a good idea of this coverage and what it takes care of. I would say I didn't put a whole bunch of plays that would be beaters on it, but let's just see here. Let me go to trail shake, another short game. I think if you're playing games, you're probably getting people running more short routes because of the pass rush. This one has a level of difficulty, and another reason why I would possibly want to play with the nickel. All right, possibly. If you have a good middle linebacker that's at least going to run with his number 3 coming in. 3 goes in, linebacker's supposed to match him. Right? In this game, looks like he's kind of matching him and then falling off late. But in this game with the pass rush, that's actually pretty good because the pass rush should get home by then. All right. Now, when you coach nickels, they have to learn a lot. It's not easy, right? But I won't go into a lot of detail on this, but they do know that all nickels, anytime three's away, if three, you read 2 to 3. When three is aligned away from you, like it is in 2x2 sometimes, and three is on that side, you know that if your number 2 goes in, usually you would pass them off. But if that's the case, you would stay with them. In this scenario, this is a 3x1 scenario. It's the same idea if 3 goes away, but it's really going away by his route. So if he runs a shallow route, then he should stick with 2, right? That's the rule. So 3 away, stick with 2. 3 away, stick with 2. Now, this is Humphreys, and he does kind of what they're programmed to do, which is to run with them for a couple steps and then kind of stop. In old Maddens, I would really hate that, but in new Maddens, there's pressure. So that's a good thing, but that's something that's happening with that nickel, but that is a play that beats quarters coverage and sometimes man coverage as well. All right, let's take a look at drag. This is where I know for a fact this is going to look really bad because the weak side quarter flat defender is not going to take the running back going through the line of scrimmage. But it's going to work out because they did match it. You see how I'm already showing you what it's like to play this defense. When it looks beautiful sometimes, right? Like look at this. I told you that the linebacker sometimes doesn't match quickly. He got beat, the weak side linebacker here on the running back, but at least he did his job, right? And what did I say about the middle linebacker? Sometimes he falls off late. Nope. So that's how it should look if you're playing against somebody, and I would make it really so much better by just manning up. Sorry, my thing's all over the place. I would just man up the weak side linebacker so he wouldn't back up like that. He would just sit there and play it man to man, okay? Here, go hug him up a lot sooner. Okay. So here's a scissor combination. And I think he'll be sacked. But here's the deal. I mean, this safety, again, he's just aligned so deep. You don't want to give it away, but he really shouldn't be backpedaling. So make sure you have a good, strong safety because he's going to be in this position a lot. You might want to switch and put your faster guy there. He has that guy. The funny thing is, where's the ball starting? It's on the 30 technically. What happens? He breaks on his out route at about 7. So he kind of gets caught in that no man's land, but he is heading upfield. So the safety has him, right? The corner, in this case, just so you know, they're supposed to be inside leverage of 1. But, depends on the formation. He's supposed to play inside and try to play even to over the top. But this is considered a quarters beater, where either you have the corner route, you have a space to throw that, or you could throw the post if you got the corner beat. Now, the quarter flat defender technically does not have this, right? It's a vertical route to him, so he becomes the zone defender. But I think he just dropped back late because he didn't have any work, and the guy was wide open. If I ran this 3-4 times, it might look different, but that's one play right there. Oh, was there a dig on the backside? There was. Okay, let me just see the backside safety, right? So the backside safety has 3 vertical. He doesn't go vertical. Now he frees up, and he did a little spin around, which is interesting. I'll say it's kind of funny though, when you play quarters coverage, the way the safeties move is not like a lot of other coverages, and it can really mess you up when you're a quarterback because you're looking at these guys and you're like, what is he doing? And even though it looks funny, it actually kind of works out to kind of confuse and slow down the quarterback's reads. But the corners who play Meg coverage, which again, they're going to play inside leverage too. Look at that shuffle by the corner, kept his leverage. He does a full 360, not realistic, but he is on top of this. I mean, he is really doing a nice job. He has leverage on that route, and that's how corners play, especially in competitive mode this year. All right, I think that's pretty much it, man, when it comes to 3x1. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, just ask me, and I can go into more detail. But just remember the weaknesses of the coverage is lots of crossing routes, out by 3. You still have your individual on the outside, so you have to have good corners. You can run, curls or deep routes. You're going to get one-on-one coverage for the most part. But the positives are like the route that I just kind of ran before, you're going to get maybe some double teams on some digs. If you have a good player to play corner route by your safeties, you can kind of get some good angles. People might think he's open, he's really not. You get good run fits. And you know what? The one thing, I'll end it with this, and I should have talked about this really from the very beginning. You see, and I couldn't because I haven't played enough games. The seam routes, especially for quarterbacks that have quick releases and have abilities, are always pretty much open versus cover 3, right? Even if it's cover 3 seam. So people are really trying to, and if you use blitz, right? They're trying to people are trying to take advantage of that quick one-step throw, get rid of the ball to the slot receiver. The thing about quarters coverage is it takes that away, and it takes it away twice. So it doesn't matter what else is happening on the field. You're getting a lot of this, right? Like two's going like this, and people are just trying to throw the ball in there quickly. What happens? He gets hit, and there's a safety standing there right behind him. So that's, to me, is the power of playing quarters coverage versus 3-by-1 or anything, even 2-by-2. You take away those seam routes, all right? 2-man might do a good job, but sometimes they trail too much. Cover 1 does a good job as well, obviously, because you have a guy on the slot. But every other zone in the game really has a little bit of that tender spot in there. Maybe cover 2 doesn't as much, but there's tender spots, and I feel like quarters coverage gets rid of what I think is probably the easiest and most high percentage pass in the game, which is quick seam routes. All right. When we come back here, I'll talk through. The next video would be versus 3-by-0, what I call 3-by-0. Most people call them trips, tight end, trio, things like that, where the tight end is aligned close or the backside receiver is aligned close. There's a new rule for that one too. All right. It kind of plays off a 3-by-1, but it's a little bit different. All right. Hope you guys have a good one. Talk to you later. Peace.